Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of FinTech Business Series. I trust that you've had a fantastic or awesome weekend. And with me is Damola. Damola, how have you been?
Been good. It's been an interesting time in Nigeria, and it's important that the government makes a lot of changes in the way that the police engages Nigerians. Really, a lot of things have to change, right? Because society is changing. A lot of things are changing. The nature of work is changing. For example, it means that as a young person, for example, I have a laptop, I have a smartphone, and really, with my smartphone, I could do millions of dollars worth of deals. My laptop, I'm working, right? But what the experience has been mostly is, with the police, the SARS. Usually when you see young people with laptops and all those things and smartphones and all these gadgets, kind of like they profile them as criminals, right? And that has just escalated into extortion, and a lot of people have lost their lives as well. And so, that's part of the reasons why a lot of Nigerian youths are out on the streets and peacefully protesting and saying, hey, this has to change. I don't know. We're seeing a little bit of progress because, we are not where we should be, but at least a little bit of progress because, it was announced that the unit SARS, it was disbanded and so, there's progress, but in terms of justice for the lives that are lost and a lot of the other things that still need to be done, there's still a long way to go. But we're hopeful that, things get back to normal and, we have a more responsible police force.
Well, I would say it's a start, and then we're hoping to see most of these changes in our society, especially at this time. A lot of people are now, more than before, they are now awake, or should I say they've awoken from their slumber, and so this is just like a start to say we don't want bad governance anymore. We are tired. In the meantime, we have an important speaker who has also been able to penetrate the health insurance space. We're
going to be sharing our conversation with Akin Jones. Akin Jones is the co-founder, CEO of Aella App. Aella App is a lending platform. So we had this conversation. We're just sharing it now, but it's still quite relevant and a lot of important talking points as regards their foray into the health insurance space and what the future holds and opportunities that really just exist in that area. And partnership is something that I think that we can leverage, especially in Africa, to grow the industry. And FinTech insurance partnerships is one way to go about it.
Yeah, so stay tuned.
Hi, this is Richard Leftley from the Microinsurance Company. I'm getting in touch from the UK today, and it's great to be with you. I think the message I want to share is that insurance for low-income people is really, really difficult to get working properly. It's really a distribution challenge, and finding a way to partner with other organizations in order to reach scale rapidly is essential if you want to have a breakthrough. Good luck in doing that, and I hope to cross paths with many of you in the future. Thanks.
Akin Jones, welcome.
Hi, thanks, Damola. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. So, how are you doing? How has this year been, personally?
No, everything. It's been an interesting year. For lack of a better word, it's been a tough year. Tough year for the lending space. I think a good year for insurance and insurers, but I don't think it's been a great year for insurers in Nigeria per se. So far, so good. Can't complain.
Right, that's great. So before we go into Aella and health insurance space. Now, who is Akin Jones in as short as possible and as catchy as possible? So, I mean, for people who are hearing your name for the first time, or people who want to know more about you, so who is Akin Jones?
I'm the co-founder and CEO of Aella Credit, now Aella App. Ex-investment banker, started on Wall Street, worked for firms such as Wachovia Securities, now Wells Fargo, UBS, SunTrust. Came back to Nigeria to head an investment banking boutique, Primera Africa. Was also a lead investment banker with BGL PLC in Lagos here. And decided to, dabble into FinTech. It's just a country with Nigeria just has too many opportunities, and kind of hard to sit on the sidelines and when no one is solving for for opportunities that are as bright as day, such as giving people instant access to loans. And so that's who I am. Just trying to make a difference any way I can.
All right, I mean, that's interesting. So you have an investment banking background and moving into the lending space now, right? So can you tell us a bit about Aella? What Aella does and what you are looking to achieve?
In general, we're just looking to simplify finance. Some people would call it a super app. We initially started with, hey, let's try to get credit to credible people. That's always been the goal. We initially started as a pure B2B2C lender. So our goal is there are way too many credible people who should be getting loans who can't. I remember, myself, even when I was an investment banker, I couldn't get a loan from the bank. We're talking about in 2013, 2014, 2015, when we started in 2015, when we piloted. Even if you had a good job, you couldn't get a loan from the banks, and so the question was, why couldn't you? And it's something we looked to solve.
That space is a space that is quite growing, and there are a lot of prospects. There's a lot of opportunities, in that area. And so, how has it been? I mean, I'm sure that whatever conversations that you might have been having, so far this year, there would have definitely be questions around, the pandemic and how it has really affected business. So what has been the experience so far this year, business wise?
I think, I'm going to go back to last year. So as a Q4 last year, we started to think how we could diversify our business, how we could give our customers more products. I think that really helped us. I think we had a very strong Q1, probably our best Q1 ever. And, Q2 came March, there was the lockdown and the effects of the lockdown. A lot of Nigerians are entrepreneurs, a lot of people who come to our platform are small business owners, own their own businesses, depending on if you need 20K, 50K, 100K, these are people who are running small businesses, people with jobs, all of them have been laid off. So we saw a huge hit in Q2. I think it started to steady a little, but it's still pretty bad. Thank God, we're already looking at different products. So our payment side, bill payments has done well. People have been doing well with that. I think insurance has done pretty well too. We now have 10,000 monthly users. It could be bigger, but it could be worse. The question now becomes, how do we, really sell a value proposition to those people on the insurance side? But overall, how has it been? It's good and bad. I can't say it's been bad, and I can't say it's been good. There have been ups and downs, and we're just trying to learn from it. I think this year is going to make us much stronger because we've been able to learn a lot more in the last couple of months.
Oh, okay. I mean, you said there it's been good and bad for Aella now. Would you say that that's the experience for the lending market generally in Nigeria, like good and bad?
No. I'll say it's bad, not even good and bad. I'll say it's bad.
Okay.
I spoke to a couple of lenders at different shops, and a lot of them might not talk about this publicly, but they're getting really bad. And I'm talking about people who are like heavily collateralized. We're talking about people who, some lenders take your car, some take checks. It doesn't matter. You can't cash the check, you can't sell the car. Nothing you can do right now. You just have to sit back and take that hit. So, because everyone's taking the hit. So it's been bad for all lenders generally. Even some of the bigger banks are now looking to play in retail because even they just couldn't do anything on the lending side. a lot of those banks, I remember 2015, I went to at least 3 or 4 large Nigerian banks, and I was literally laughed out of the office because they didn't believe that anyone could go online, take a loan and pay back and all that. And then by 2017, there was a turn with a lot of those banks. They all started to see the opportunities. Let's just say, not even 17, let's say 18, like end of 18, mid 18. They all started to have a change of heart. But, then they all said, okay, we will try to build our own competitive platforms versus partnering. And it's something, I even give the insurance industry some kudos on in terms of partnerships, because it's something the banks weren't willing to do because they felt like, we can hire people or we can pay people to come in and build for us. Let's see how they do. I don't think they'll do that well in digital.
Okay. So speaking about insurance and the likes now, I know that as of June, you have a partnership with Hygia. Can you tell us a bit about that partnership and what exactly interested you in going into that space?
It's the opportunity. I think for years, we've always known there's been like a 1%, 2%, 3% penetration. I remember as a banker back in the day, I advised I've advised insurers in the past. I've advised insurers locally. I've always kind of understood the problems they were facing. So it really was, hey, there's a big opportunity here. And we have a lot of data. We have a lot of knowledge. We have a lot of knowledge in terms of growth, scale. We have a lot of users. So our question is, how can we help an industry that's like only has about 4 or 5% penetration to scale? The insurance industry is a 2 trillion naira per annum potential revenue industry. We're talking, if you had 160 million patients, 10,000 hospitals, and you were really truly actualizing this, it could be generating anywhere in the upwards of 2 trillion naira a year. So, it's something that could work, but of course we have the macroeconomics in play. And so I can't totally blame the insurers for not executing. There's a lot of macroeconomic factors that play a big role in them not being able to execute. So it's very, of course, we'll look at why can't insurance companies, get to more people? Why aren't more people signing for insurance? But the truth is, right now, it's most people that have insurance are in the formal sector. Most products built for insurance are for the formal sector. It's kind of hard to convince people in the informal sector to sign up for healthcare insurance, to put down, let's say, 2K a month, 500 naira a month, 1,000 naira a month, when they are barely have enough money to eat. So how are you going to get them to put down, commit 12,000 naira to something they might not use?
It was interesting that you went on to partner with Hygia, right? And what has that experience been? I mean, we were talking earlier. We spoke with Dr. Efeme Neto from founder of Aella Health, and his experience now has been that for his customers, they can't believe that. I mean, with less than 500 naira, they can get that much care for malaria, right? That is the experience there. So, but for you now, for Aella Care, what has been the experience, especially with your customers? Because, I mean, I myself would be looking from the outside that, okay, your customers are a very different demography, and it's a demography that don't really have insurance in some way. Yes, they're in the formal sector, like you said, and the only type of insurance that they'll probably have is maybe, from the companies and things like that, right? And then you have the formal sector who don't have any form of insurance. So what has been the experience from your customers in terms of engaging this health insurance?
So I think our plans, the plans that we partnerships we have with Nigeria are pretty good. You get 800,000 naira worth of healthcare coverage for 2,000 naira a month. So that's a pretty strong plan. You get surgery, you get antenatal, you get accidents and emergencies. There's a lot that's bundled into that one plan. I think my only, I think partnerships, both sides have to take a loss. For us, it's more, it's kind of like I kind of get where the insurance companies are coming from, because they have these capitation fees they have to pay monthly to the hospitals and all that. But we are spending a lot of time trying to build a growth engine for insurance. So the only problem I would have is that we are scaling, but we are gonna take losses for a while, because what we're trying to do is retain people, let them see the value in insurance. Like I've always said, what are the 4 issues in insurance? Something like export tape, trust, access, pricing, and education. So what we're trying to do is give them a 30-day free trial period to see if they like it, and then, we're seeing people renew. So we're getting a 30% renewal rate right now. So we're talking about 10,000 signups, 3,000 people will actually pay, roughly about that, 4,000 actually. The last one was roughly 4,100 paid out of 10,000. So, but we take the loss of the 6,000, because the goal is we're trying to get you to even sign up. We're trying to get you to go in there and see if you really like the product. Try it out. We encourage you to use the hospital on our dime, because I'm that passionate about getting people to go out there and get treated, get healthcare right now at the lowest possible price. Paying 450 naira for malaria versus paying 2,000 naira to get 800,000 naira worth of healthcare is very, is very different. And I also know where the insurance are coming from, because it's only the scale that allows it to work. So it's because they see that, okay, we can get 50,000 monthly users, 100,000 monthly users, and that can actually help promote this.
Right. So I'm quite curious, because yes, you play very well in the financial services, your lending, your bills payments, and the likes, and now bringing in health insurance. So I don't know, what's that connection between personal finances and healthcare? Especially in Nigeria. I was speaking with someone earlier, and he alluded to the fact that we spend a lot on healthcare. What's the picture that you are seeing, from Aella's perspective?
That's a great question, Damola. The power is in the data. I think the data doesn't lie. We went into this because we were seeing a trend of a lot of our users were using money they were borrowing from us to buy medicines, to get treated, to go to hospitals. And if you understand the data, you see that people are spending your money that they are borrowing from you on medical needs, more drugs, for lack of a better word, malaria medicine, and stuff like that. So when you're seeing those data trends, usage of loan, medicine, medical, I'll say that ranks about number 3, number 4. And when you're seeing those, you're like, okay, there's an opportunity here. It's kind of like we knew, okay, we had to allow people to pay bills on our platform and not just take loans, because a lot of people are borrowing to pay bills. So you borrow 2K, 3K, 4K, 5K, 10K. You're borrowing it to pay your DSTV, buy MTN credits or whatever, So it's the same knowledge. Like, we realized, hey, if they're going to do that, why not just give them an easier way for them to actualize this? Why borrow 20K, 10K, 15K, whatever, to go pay someone when you could just be paying 2K a month? You get your first 30 days free, and you can go ahead and, and get treated, or, and build some kind of understanding of insurance. So, the education of insurance is something I feel like even the bigger health insurance companies really have to spend more time on, educating people on the benefits of insurance, on the uses of insurance. Another thing that could help in our sector, I think in Korea they have that, is the return of premiums. I feel like people might pay more if you offer a higher premium, 20K and a month, and say, okay, if you don't use it, we'll pay you back 70% or something. So there are different ways. We're playing with our data, with our knowledge, and with our partnerships to see if we can scale our user base up in the next couple of months.
In terms of return, you mentioned something that had to do with return of premium. So what I'm saying is, even from the fact that we have all of those policies in the insurance industry now, and a lot of people have refused to patronize them or purchase that particular policy because it is perceived as expensive. A typical Nigerian will want to look for a plan that is cheap, not even affordable, cheap. And that is why most of our prices are what it is today, because I would easily go for something that I know I could get for 3K than buy it for the same value at 5,000 to 6,000 naira. So I don't know how that would work in terms of how else to market that kind of policy to customers or generally.
And that's the thing. I think those kind of policies probably would only work for the same formal sector we've spoken about. I think it takes a certain level of education. Most people don't read plans, and most sales agents, are out there in this. We don't even have manual physical sales agents. For most insurance companies, the trick is all they do is sales agents go around signing people up from company to company, and that's how they just manage their growth. But no one has really figured out a fully digital way, fully automated digital way to scale insurance. The question is, are there enough educated people, or do people even read contracts enough that they'll understand the terms of the money being returned to them and all, which is some of the issues. And to be honest, a lot of insurance companies might even be taking a lot of losses because you have to realize that if you're charging 500 naira for a plan and a surgery costs 300,000 or 400,000, you might be taking a loss, or your users aren't paying. So a lot of issues people have seen in managed health services there's issues of reporting, there's issues of bloated costs, inefficiency. There's just a lot of in-house issues in insurance, in managed healthcare especially, that need to be solved with technology first before we even go into the second phase of saying let's start returning money to people, because you have to first get your efficiencies right before you can now say, I will consider returning money to some of these users. Because in our first couple of months of piloting, it's been good, but we are taking some losses to ensure scale. It's about cleaning up and clearing up those inefficiencies over time.
Hey, this is Brian Falchuk from Boston, Massachusetts in the United States of America. I want to give a shout out to the InsurTech Business Series, Falumi and Damola. What you are doing to help move the industry forward in the African continent, but also more broadly for the industry at large, is so incredibly important. As I think about the future of our industry, it's conversations like the ones you're having that will help us move forward. So congratulations on the success of the show. Please keep at it.
You mentioned technology, and one of the things that we are quite keen about here is really just generating conversation around the fact that we need to digitize a lot of our processes to improve efficiency, and improve the customer's experience, across the value chain of insurance, right? So you are a mainly tech company, right? So how much of importance is it, from your perspective and how you run your business and your experience with insurance now, how much important is it for us to go the route of really digitizing processes and taking advantage of data that you have been able to use to scale your business?
I think there are a lot of interesting things that could be done, and data is key and digitization is key. But I also think the government could play a very key role. I think Lagos State has just launched the Lagos State Health Insurance Scheme. I know NHIS has some schemes, but there could be ways in which we could blend all our data sets together. There could be ways in which we use our national ID card, and when you are getting national ID, the kind of mandate that you get insurance. 100 naira insurance a month. I was talking to an insurance professional the other day, and he was saying at one point in Unilag, I don't know if they still have it, but they had 100 naira insurance a month that was tacked on to students' tuition. Exactly.
Fees. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. Well, so things around that. So imagine mandating that. Okay, companies, small businesses, markets, before you pay your tax, you also have to show insurance what you're paying in insurance, like they have in America when you get those insurance waivers or insurance grants. So that, okay, if you're filing for your tax, you have to show that you paid insurance for your staff. Be a good first step. Or even if you work in the market, there could be people that go around to say, okay, have you insured? These are the insurance plans. It's subsidized by government, but sold through the HMOs. You have to get it. If you don't get it, your tax money will be increased by XYZ. So there could be a penalty. But the question now becomes, will there be the execution of this put in place? But, there are a lot of ways that we can execute this, and we've already started. The first, the eureka moment for us to go into digital lending was BVN. The day the BVN launched was the day I launched Aella. Exactly. So it's that BVN. So once you have a digital identity verification system, which I feel like the strongest we have right now is the BVN. you can tack a lot of things on it, and I feel like insurance could be a sensible next step to tack on it. The telcos are another second point. I know a lot of people have tried to work with the telcos to offer very cheap insurance that could be deducted from your data plans and all. But,
yes,
it could start from working through corporates. So I don't know if there's the same way you mandate every company to pay IT industrial training fund, you could mandate every company to insure their people. And it could lead to a big boost in the industry.
Now that you mentioned the government, right? I know that there are talks around the health insurance authority bill, right? So can you tell us a bit about, you're playing in that space right now. So what impact do you think that bill eventually will have on your foray into that health insurance space?
On paper it's always positive, but we have bills. I don't like to talk about any government policies. On paper, all these government policies always seem positive, but it's all about execution. Like I always like to say, if they pass it, they don't pass it. They passed 1,000 bills over the last how many years, and who knows? To me, it doesn't. I am always for private sector driven driven innovation. I just feel like the only thing government is meant to do is just create an enabling environment and probably give grants and schemes and, that help bolster the industry. We've heard in this COVID one that they shared billions out, I guess, as palliatives for healthcare companies. I feel like there needs to be more data. I like what budget is doing. There needs to be more data around how accountability around how these things are being used, because I know what we've done with the little we've put into the space and what we've been able to impact. We can see those metrics. So they need to be able to give us these metrics too from their standpoint. Like, hey, we've injected this much. And that's why digitizing things always makes sense, right? So that you can kind of keep a paper trail of what you're actually doing and executing. The bill will definitely work. The health insurance bill is a positive, right? But they've been having all sorts of the NHIS was set up for a particular reason, right? To promote insurance. And it's done what it could do. The goal of it was to achieve universal healthcare for Nigerians. Has it done that? Maybe we've moved from 2% penetration or 1.6% penetration to 3% or 3.5. I'm not, roughly around that. So has it done that? Has it, it hasn't in like 5, 7, 10 years. It hasn't gone to 10%, So these are some of the things I'm looking at. Like,
after providing all of these platforms, the truth about it is, if you're not keen on implementation, I think that most of this, like you said now, it's good to be on paper, but you need to see the practicality of all of these policies. So for NHIS now, I would say that yes, bills are fine, but then again, like, how do you think that this is going to affect your own business? Now, for instance, or how would you advise they drive all of these implementation phase? Because I think that's like the major work. It's good for us to have meetings, to have data, to have policies, operations, and all of that. But if there's no drive, if there's no implementation, it doesn't work. What would you be advising NHIS in terms of driving all of this?
In the end, literally, I think they need to offer free healthcare. And I guess that's what the bill is trying to focus on, giving informal people in Nigeria access to healthcare, right? 1999, there was a decree. But in reality, people are poor. So even if we sell 100 naira insurance plans, can they afford it? But then the question is, if we give free healthcare that the government is paying for, it might lead to fraud. It might lead to the kind of petroleum subsidy fraud we've seen. So what's the balancing act? I think you have to work with private sector, FinTech. I think this is where InsurTech comes into play. Digitizing the electronic interface for Nigerian hospitals and managed healthcare service providers, whereby, if I'm going to a hospital and I present my card, both the NHIS sees it and everybody sees it on their system. So there's no room for fraud. And once you get a drug or whatever, there's some kind of digitization where there's a paper trail of everything that happens. I know a lot of people have tried it. I know at some point the NHIS ordered equipment, but I don't know what happened to this. It's kind of like we take 2 steps forward sometimes and we take 5 steps back. And so implementation requires digitization. You have to work with all stakeholders and you have to digitize. But the only way we can get insurance to maybe 60 million Nigerians in a year is, I think the first step has to be through BVN. I think the banks could really help with that too. And for me, the BVN is the first true data set I've kind of trusted in Nigeria. First true identity set I've trusted, because identity is the first case. Are you who you are?
Yeah.
Are we not? Because we don't want to bill for 40 imaginary people, and somebody is taking money off the side. So how do we ensure we can eradicate fraud, time wasting, we can have efficient reporting capabilities, and reduce operational costs? Imagine if the NHIS had to have people in every hospital when you could just have software and anyone could go to it. Imagine how much you would save. Our healthcare budget in Nigeria, last I heard, was what, $2 billion or something? $2.5 billion. It's very small. Country is going through, okay, let me not use the word broke, but it's going through tough financial times. So I don't think we'll be able to provide free healthcare right now for everybody. But what are the ways the government could work with private sector to make this a reality? All pharmacies, I feel like most Nigerians, their first point of contact is in even hospitals per se. Local area pharmacies. So is there a structural way we could work with those pharmacies to provide like a last mile, sort of like, I see pharmacies the same way I see agency banks. They're like that first of operation between every Nigerian. I think people would go to the pharmacy cell first and talk to their pharmacist before going to talk to a doctor. So
Hi everybody, my name is Bente and I'm the founder and CEO of FinTech, and we are based in Kenya. I am very passionate about the disruption of the insurtech space, and together with our model FinTech, we are actually serving insurance platform and also white label solutions for the industry. Please keep on listening to InsurTech Business Series podcast, and I hope to see all of you at the conference in December.
Well, I am looking at penetrating the pharmacies as well, in terms of creating partnership with Nigerian pharmacists. If that's the first point of contact when I have a headache or I think I have malaria.
I think I think it's a good way to. I think for us, we're still in the learning curve process, right? We have data, we have users, we're trying to give those users access to healthcare. I think for a second phase, we could look at that. But you have to realize we also have, we don't want to get bogged down. For us, this is just it's a tack on. Let's look at it as a sell-up for our current lending users, which is our core business. The question now becomes, we're just adding, we don't want to get bogged down into here. How do we get it to every pharmacy and all? I feel like the HMOs can do that. I feel like the hospitals can do that. I feel like there are a lot of people already tackling that. We are just providing a gateway to expand coverage, because it's a necessity, especially in these COVID times.
Yeah, so I'm quite keen on what the plans are for Aella generally in terms of insurance. Yeah, so now you're working in the health insurance space, but are you seeing data, or are you seeing trends around that are helping you lean towards considering going into other types of insurance services? Offering them to your customers.
I like that. You let the cat out the bag. So what we are really doing is other insurers are going to come on. We are signing partnerships with other insurers, not just Hygeia. We're going to allow people to get the best plans. What we're going to try and do is use our AI technology to be able to you'll put in your details and we can kind of recommend plans for you. Your income, based on your income level, based on, how much you want to spend on insurance, based on what you want, because we realize this one hat fits all is not necessarily working for all our customers. So this, 2,000 plan. Yeah. So why not, some people want that 450 naira malaria plan that Aella helped. Some people want the 50,000 naira plan. Some people want. So why not create an artificial intelligence driven way to get your consumers what they want, and that's launching very soon actually. So these are some of the things we've learned from the data we've seen, that just having one carrier also puts us in a very uncomfortable position sometimes, but yeah. So how do we get our customers the best? Because really that's what we're here for. We're listening to our users and trying to implement what they want versus trying to tell them what we want.
Quite interesting. So, I mean, outside of insurance now, right? What's the future like for Aella? What are the plans? I know at the beginning of this year you had some investment from outside of the country, right? So what are the prospects? And now you are into the health insurance space, and you talked about going further into the insurance industry. But what are the other plans for the future? I
think more products. You're going to keep hearing more products. We're launching a lot of products, and we're recruiting a lot of, our engineering team is pretty much 80% of our company, very, very digital focused. And it's really just building products to already help. There are a lot of industries in Nigeria that need digitization. And we see ourselves as a one-stop app for people that need, various products, be it payments, be it insurance, anything you're trying to pay for. We want to build more interesting products around that. So I just don't want to give a lot away, but we're launching some very, very interesting products. Some stablecoin powered products, stablecoin on the back of the blockchain, and we're going to use some of that blockchain technology also in insurance too. I just don't want to give a lot away for proprietary reasons. We're excited about what we're building. We are builders, for lack of a better word. We like to, and that's what we do.
All right. That's quite interesting, because I mean, as fintechs, as a tech company, comparing that to a full insurance company, you can scale, you can change things, you can build things, iterating around ideas and just put to market, right? And those are some of the things that I think that the insurance industry can really learn. Your platform is going to be offering, I mean, a younger demographic, I would assume, right? So what are some of the opportunities there for insurance companies that want to partner with?
I think the opportunities are, we have 900,000 registered users, 200,000 monthly borrowers. In our first 2 months of piloting insurance, we're already at 10,000 users. So those are the opportunities, and we are thinking of more interesting ways to upsell our customers on insurance. We're taking some hits, we're playing around with different things. We're the future. We're looking for how to get the millennials into insurance. We're thinking of how to solve those pain points: trust, access, pricing, education. I think anyone that is out there, who's thinking, hey, how can we innovate on insurance? Definitely we're open to partnerships, and not just in insurance, in multiple sectors. We're always looking for ways, because what we really focus on is the tech side of things. We want to be a gateway for innovation. And, we saw what we were the first, there are a lot of digital lenders, but we can confidently say we were the first digital lender in the market. We started in 2015, undercapitalized. We've been in this market a long time. We built organically, and today we're a profitable business. Where we had a year where we grew by 1,000%. We've done a lot of restructuring. We've learned a lot. We've put together the right team. We continue. We're always learning. So it's what the larger organizations don't have. It can take them 6 weeks to get an approval on one thing. It can take them 10 weeks before every committee meets up to decide. We can make fast decisions. We can try out new products. We can see if they work. We can iterate for a younger generation. We're excited about that.
Yeah, right. Great. Thank you very much. It's been an interesting conversation, and we're definitely going to continue this conversation in one way or another. And thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for me. Thanks, Damola. Appreciate your time.
Hi, this is Richard Leftley from the microinsurance company. I'm getting in touch from the UK today, and it's great to be with you. I think the message I want to share is that insurance for low-income people is really, really difficult to get working properly. It's really a distribution challenge, and finding a way to partner with other organizations in order to reach scale rapidly is essential if you want to have a breakthrough. Good luck in doing that, and I hope to cross paths with many of you in the future. Thanks.
Hi, and welcome to the news update. I am Opelua, and here are the headlines. Standard Alliance Insurance appoints new managing director. Nigeria Reinsurance names Akinshola Ali as new MD. Lloyds launches parametric policy. Now the details. Standard Alliance Insurance appoints new managing director. Standard Alliance Insurance plc, a non-life insurer operating in Nigeria, has announced the appointment of Omotayo Awodiye as its new managing director. The announcement was made at the company's 22nd annual general meeting, and the new MD assured that the management and directors are working assuredly to meet the recapitalization deadline as well as position the company's operations for post-recapitalization competition. Nigeria Reinsurance names Akinshola Ali as new MD. Nigeria Reinsurance Corporation has recently announced the appointment of Akinshola Ali as its new managing director, following confirmation by the National Insurance Commission (NICOM) on August 31, 2020. Akinshola Ali, who was the Executive Director, Technical Services of NICOM Insurance Limited, will be responsible for steering the company to the path of sustainability and also ensure the overall objectives of the organizations are achieved. Lloyds launches parametric policy. Lloyds has launched a parametric insurance policy in response to the increased risk of business interruptions in SMEs. The new insurance coverage relies on a parametric trigger to protect small and medium-scale businesses from IT disruptions or downtime. The offer is led by Tokyo Marine Kiln and supported by members of Lloyd Products Innovation Facility. The parametric trigger automatically provides compensations if a customer's critical IT services are disrupted. It can be applied on the cloud, e-commerce, or other payment systems. Consequently, the policy reduces the time insurers spend assessing a loss or adjusting a claim. That is all on the news update. Stay tuned for the rest of the show.
Welcome back to this session. We hope that you enjoyed the conversation with Akin. I remember seeing some of their work on Twitter during the lockdown period. It made it very easy for people to access healthcare via their platform. And from some of the conversations that he said, it shows that there's a lot that can be done with partnership, and there's a lot that can actually be done in the health insurance space. What was your take on Damola?
Like I said in the beginning, partnership is quite key, it's quite important, not just with fintechs, maybe with partnership with banks, bank assurance, partnership with telecommunication companies, and those are partnerships that can work. Basically, what Aella wants to do is scale health insurance to get health insurance to as many people as possible so that they have access to quality healthcare. Access to quality healthcare is quite key, especially in Nigeria here. And this kind of partnership, creating the opportunity for not just anybody to buy insurance, but a demography that has mostly not been tapped really with insurance. The younger demography, the Gen Z, the millennials who are quite averse to insurance, but we are leveraging a platform like Aella, which is trusted, which is used regularly. This is a platform where they take loans within minutes and repayments are done, without any force, and stuff like that. So there's a trust element that is already there with with Aella. So leveraging that to sell insurance is something that is quite key for me, and I think that we'll definitely begin to see a lot more of these partnerships going forward. I mean, we've seen one with Aella Health and AXA Mansard, right? So, but I mean, we'll definitely begin to see a lot more of them, and I'm definitely hoping I'm definitely looking forward to the other things that Aella has to offer the market,
which is actually very, very good. It's really interesting to be alive during this time. Like, I'm excited about upcoming or ongoing developments in the industry, which is fantastic.
It's amazing.
Yes, I must confess. So, Damola, would you like us to hint our audience about our forthcoming conference?
Yes. It's something that we're quite excited about. It's our first ever conference, and it's the first ever InsurTech conference, really, in Nigeria. And so we're quite excited about it. Why? Because one of the reasons why we came up with InsurTech Business Series was to create conversations and around technology, innovation, and some of the opportunities that they bring to the industry, and how you can scale insurance and create more value to customers as well. We started off with the podcast, right? And that has been amazing, from our first guest, Rob Galbraith. Shout out, Rob.
Galbraith,
Yes, it's been an interesting journey so far, and we're quite keen on expanding that conversation further through the InsurTech Business Series conference, which we plan to hold on the 27th of November 2020. Yes, it's a virtual conference, and we intend to have a broad engagement with the audience, with panel sessions, presentations from people around the world, insurance professionals from within Nigeria, within Africa, different parts of the world, coming to share their perspectives, and audience coming to learn really about new trends, opportunities. And the theme for the conference is innovation and partnerships for sustainable insurance.
And we're looking at making it, free and accessible to as many that would love to join and participate in these interesting conversations. We also hope to have reputable speakers that are experts, or should I say professionals in that insurance space. And it's actually going to be an exciting one. I'm even excited saying this alone. I don't think that anyone should miss this, because really...
Yeah. We are. Don't worry, we're going to be all up in your face, about the conference. Yeah, but we are excited about it, like I said, and we are very much looking forward to hosting you. More details about the conference will be coming up in the coming days, coming weeks. But we want to let you know first here, and we're also looking out for partnerships and sponsorships as well towards the conference. And you can hit us up via email, insure365ng@gmail.com. And let's start the conversation and see how we can work together. Yeah, we look forward to having you on the 27th of November.
All right. So on that note, thank you once again for taking your time out to listen to our podcast. We really appreciate the support. We appreciate your, reviews again. Then we hope to always take this conversation further and further. Try to spark conversations that changes some of the things in the industry, like our penetration index rates, for instance. So again, thank you once again. I remain your host, Ulumi, and my co-host,
Damola. Take care and do stay safe.
Bye.